What is up? Welcome to another edition of the Sports Office. Great to have you with us tonight. The crew is in the house. James is here. Canner's here.
Hello.
Great to have you guys here. We got a lot going on. Number one, it's just one of those days that makes you feel good. Why? Because it's the first day for pitchers and catchers down in Lakeland. We have baseball.
Sounds so wonderful.
It sounds warm, doesn't it?
It sounds great.
You know what sounds good?
Jen Hammond?
We're going to get to her in a second.
Oh, sorry, I jumped
let
in.
me tell
My
you,
bad, sir.
This episode of the Sports Office is brought to you by Michigan Army National Guard. Learn more at nationalguard.com/MI. Do you know what sounds good? I talked about this last night. Okay, been in this business a long time. Almost longer than you've been alive. But
Especially since he's been
close.
alive.
Definitely longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, I think so.
But there is a sound that you hear at spring training that just screams baseball. It is this, well, I'm not even going to tell you. Just listen to this, all right? Hit me with it, Tom.
How are you? Morning. Good to see you.
It's a great sound. That is the sound of cleats walking across, now that, in that case, rocks. It's the same sound as cleats walking across concrete, but it's baseball players going out to the field. You saw Max Clark there, you saw Kerry Carpenter there, you saw Jahmai Jones there, which is really cool to see those guys. Haven't seen those guys in a while.
But they're not even supposed to be there. It's pitchers and catchers.
I know, but you get guys reporting. Guys want to be there. We're going to get to Hammer in 1 second because there's another sound that just screams baseball and makes your soul feel good. Here it comes. Tommy, here.
That pop.
Popping.
I love it.
It's the pop.
It's almost like the sound of childhood.
That's what it is. It's just, all the guys lined up one after the other and just pop, pop, pop
I love
as
it.
the ball hits the glove or the ball hits the mitt. It's just a beautiful thing. We absolutely love it. And it just makes you feel baseball. Like
I
when you're
love
at a
looking
game-
at those rotation guys that we were just seeing there.
We're going
That's
to talk about
yeah.
that. And we'll talk about it with Hammer. She's with us. Yes. Who joins us now. She is in Lakeland. She's been keeping track of everything. You got to hear all those sounds in person for yourself, Hammer.
I did, and it's so funny because, gosh, I have so much to say to you guys. It feels like we haven't talked in 20 minutes. Oh, wait, I see. Wait, who's on there?
That's James.
Hi, Jen. I work with you.
that's
No, there's
Tanner.
someone else. I just saw a man up close. Kenny
I am
or
a man.
somebody. Anyway.
Oh.
Hi. So I will tell you about when the fellas were walking by and you heard their cleats on the gravel, Miller.
Yes.
It was the cutest thing. Jahmai Jones was talking to Kerry Carpenter about how his little one was sleeping through the night. And I was just going to pull
real life. These guys have real lives too.
It was so cute, and I'm like, I bet that's something no one would ever expect that these young guys are, doing down here at Lakeland, chatting and sharing stories about their kids. So it was cute. The other thing is the position players all go to the furthest back field because we were just so heightened on Fromber and JV today and just watching those guys and their every move. We didn't get over to see the position guys doing they do little batting practice.
Right.
They don't full swing quite yet, but they do, some ground balls and things like that and take a few cuts. But we didn't get to hear the sound of the bat. We will get that for you tomorrow. I absolutely promise, because we have another full day. But today was just electric, and I was so bummed. So JV threw a private bullpen session yesterday. I was talking to someone who told me, I said, are we going to see JV throw today? And he said, no, he threw one yesterday. So we won't see him today or tomorrow throwing or stretching out, as they like to say. But it's nothing is finer, I think, at spring training than watching Justin Verlander when he takes the mound. It used to be, and I think I said this last night, it's must-see TV, and JV is still one of those guys. It's just, he is so incredible, and he's really a gentle giant now. Like, I walked into the clubhouse, and Canner, you'll appreciate this, because I'm sure that I've lamented over the years about my relationship with Justin Verlander. He gave me a hug. Yeah, he gave me a hug. He shook Chris McCoskey's hand and he goes, hey, how you doing? And he leaned in and gave me a hug. And it just was really nice. And I asked him about his kids and, his daughter. Sorry, he has one child and she's now 7. I mean, he's a grown man, It's just It's super crazy that he went from the kid who we had to drag out of the clubhouse after, I think they beat the Oakland Athletics in that ALCS, right? And remember, he came down and he did a live, I know you guys, he came down and did a live shot with me. One of our interns was there and she helped me get him out of the clubhouse. Thank goodness I had some extra hands on deck that night. But we got him out of the clubhouse to do a live shot with me. It was stellar. It was epic. So
yeah, it's definitely cool to see him back. Couple of things that you said there that I want to hit on. Number one, let's stay with JV for just a second.
I hear Canner snickering.
He is snickering. But
it's an inside thing, yeah. Sorry.
I know it is.
It's inside Fox 2 stuff. You have to stick around for the after show to figure that one out. But no, I think stick with JV for a second. Him being there and everything you just talked about, his work ethic, the way he approaches his craft as a whole, that has got to have an effect on so many of these young players, whether you're a hitter, whether you're a pitcher. If the 43-year-old dude, 43 next week, is working that hard, you need to work that hard too.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that AJ and Scott both said today in their media sessions, that there was no hesitation because they know how hard he works and what he does. And he just wants to keep on getting better. In fact, Scott Harris went into somewhat of detailed explanation about how midway through last year, when JV was not really as great, he made a minor adjustment with where he stood on the rubber, changed something with his arm slot, and all of a sudden he took off. That's what related to the final, 13 starts in which he was really dominant once again with a 2.60 ERA.
You know what I saw when I was looking through some of the video that Jen sent back was
Jeff Holloway. Please.
Sorry,
credit
and Jeff Holloway shot wonderfully as usual. But when you're seeing Verlander talk with Hinch and they're walking and talking, and then him talking with some of the other players, you can see the respect factor there, the respect that he has earned over the years, and these guys are going to look up to him, and he's going to help lead them. Now they have some playoff experience, not as much as Verlander though. Verlander's been to the mountaintops, so
I mean, even
valuable.
For a guy like Skubal, I would imagine for everything he's accomplished, even for a guy like Tarek Skubal, this is a pretty cool moment to be able to hang with JV and talk to him and be teammates with him.
I'm hoping that rubs off, and I do think it will. When they were standing together at one point, it was Flaherty and Skubal and Verlander. They were in the same group where they do PFP, which is pitchers fielding practice. They do all of their drills together with their groups, and so those three were in a group together, and I believe Fromber was in their group as well. Mize was in the first group, but those four were in the second group, and you could just see them kind of gravitating together and chatting quite a bit. And I do think that what Tarek is going through right now, that when he feels more comfortable with JV, he would be a very sage person to lean on.
Oh, yeah.
To say, because there's a lot of stuff going on for Tarek Skubal, and it's going to continue. I mean, his story has gone to the back burner and has been quieted somewhat by the arrival of Fromber and JV. And we'll hear more from Tarek tomorrow. He's actually committed to speak to the media tomorrow. And JV speaks tomorrow too. But it was kind of funny after that whole Valdez press conference when Scott Harris was putting the jersey on him and it was all very pomp and circumstance and official. I looked at JV, I'm like, that'll be you tomorrow. And he goes, I just want to do it at my locker. He's like, do I have to do that?
Been there, done that.
And I'm like,
but Hammer,
you put a jersey on you, and he's like, not really.
you make a good point in just what he might mean to this team, and you were able to talk to a number of people about that, and we have some reactions to JV now being a Tiger. Tommy, fire that.
I had a few FaceTimes with JV. I'd never met him before, but I know what he means to the city and this organization.
My focus with him was all entirely on what he can do to help us win on the mound. And obviously he and I have history. He has a deeper history here with Detroit, and when he gets in front of you guys, I think it's tomorrow, he will share his emotions and his feelings from a pure influence standpoint. My conversations with him was, here's this organization as it is today. Here's how you can help us win. You're joining a team who has learned how to win, and we need a little bump to take us a step forward.
I want to throw one more thing up there before we bring Hammer back in, and that's the starting rotation. Just throw that picture up there, Tommy.
Oh, isn't it the best?
This is really cool, and this is what I think has Tiger fans excited. You got Verlander, Skubal, Valdez, Mize, Flaherty. I think that's what has fans fired up. I mean, that's a heck of a starting rotation right there to have those guys together. And certainly I got to think, Hammer, that Scott Harris talked about that today because they've made pretty significant financial commitments to get these guys together. Look, you didn't have a choice, but that's $32 million right there. That's $13 million.
Let me
right
do the math
there.
for you. It's $109 million altogether, which is more than the payrolls of the 5 lowest teams in Major League Baseball.
We didn't expect to be saying that about the Tigers. But
we didn't
what
expect.
did Harris say today about this pumped up payroll that they come back with that really has gotten pumped up over the last 10 days?
Yeah, it has really gotten pumped up over the last 10 days. And I asked him, I said, is this a chips all in type of thing? And he goes, no, I don't call it a chips all in thing. But they definitely are committed to winning. And Scott Harris spoke very highly about Chris Ilitch and his competitive desire and his want to win, like his dad had. He started comparing him to Mike. He said, Chris wants to win. You know, there's this narrative that he doesn't want to pay, but he wants to make sure that the time is right and that the team is right. And when they were able to get Fromber in and JV, they thought it was enough of a bump up to help them. And I'll tell you another guy that you're going to hear from down here. We just focused, like I said, mainly on JV and Fromber today, but Kenley Jansen, he's a guy who's really going to help this team. And we spoke to him today, and his desire was about wanting to win. So now Detroit is becoming that destination place. They want to spend. And as you saw, that commitment is real with that starting 5. It's incredible. And to see that photo moment, I mean, I had goosebumps. It's been a long time since we've seen a staff like that in Detroit, probably since 2013. It's pretty darn thrilling.
Hammer, how pointed were the Skubal questions today to Harris and to AJ, and how did they handle it?
Not terribly pointed at all. And I think that, and it was mostly to Scott, and he handled it with grace. He said, you know what? We weren't, and he even admitted, as most people, he doesn't love arbitration. Usually they settle everything before it even gets there. I mean, with Mize, they were able to do that. With so many guys, they've been able to do that in the past. And this is really the first time in Harris's tenure here in Detroit. You know, it's not a long one, but that they've gone to arbitration. And he said, you know, we live and learn, and this is what it is. And we knew that there were a lot of moving parts and things that were going to happen. But again, he went back to Chris Ilitch and said, in no way should anybody think that Chris Ilitch doesn't want to pay players to compete and win. And there was even talk about World Series goals. You know, I think that they could possibly get to a World Series with this staff.
Yeah, it should be their goal. I mean, you were in Game 5 of the ALDS last year with a chance to win it if you could have just scratched out a run somehow.
Yeah.
And now you've added to
innings.
that team. Yeah, and now you've added to that team. So, yeah, I think you can't shy away from that. When you're spending the kind of money that we just talked about, now, I know fans at home might be saying, but what about a bat? What about a bat? But when you're spending that kind of money, you're only thinking one thing. You're thinking championship. And they may say, Hammer, it's not a chips all in, but there is the factor that this might be your final year with the best pitcher in baseball, so you need to do everything you can to maximize that.
And I absolutely think that was part of the equation, and especially when it became apparent to them that Fromber could get done and could be here, and as well, JV was a willing participant as well, which we've talked about for, I think, several years off and on. Will JV come back to Detroit? He has said he wants to finish his career here. I mean, it's really a cool story, and it's so much fun. You know, I chatted with one of the position coaches briefly just about the excitement in Detroit, and they're like, you know, the Pistons, the Wings, the Tigers, you know, and the Lions, even though they missed out on the playoffs this year, but all of the teams are just thriving. And 2 weeks ago, if we would have told you that this was what the expectation was for the Tigers, nobody would have believed it.
All right, Hammer, you're officially on vacation now, right?
No,
No.
we got one more day.
We got one more
Go
day.
back tomorrow. What am I
So
thinking?
let me tell you what's
What am I
tomorrow.
thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're going to talk to Justin Verlander in the morning. He's finally
Nice.
going to share all of his thoughts with us on camera and on the microphone. And I'll let you know whether or not that's at a big press conference with Scott Harris putting a jersey
Or
on
at
him,
his
or
locker.
if it's in front of his locker. And then you'll know who won that. And then we're going to get Tarek Skubal after the workout tomorrow. I did not see the bullpen list or the throwing list today. I don't know if he's going to be throwing a full session tomorrow, which will be tremendous to watch. And then we talk to him. We're going to get a one-on-one with him for Fox 2, which we are the only TV station that, covers sports like we do in Detroit, which I think everyone knows and sees. But so we're
Yes.
kicking butt down here.
Good job.
And then we're going to do a story. You're going to have one over the weekend with Reese Olson. We talked to him. It was really hard to see him with his arm in this cast situation. He's pretty bummed out. We're going to talk to Casey Mize just about, kind of being, he's in a 1-year deal too. I mean, he's going to be a free agent, and there's just a lot of moving parts with this team. It's a ton of fun, and we'll see who else shows up. We'll talk to Kerry Carpenter, and we'll
But
talk
it's
to
positive.
McGonigal, of course. I just
It's
can't
positive.
stop talking about it. It's all positive, and it's so much fun. And also, too, we'll talk more tomorrow about the young guys and their potential impact on making the roster, and you'll hear what Harris had to say about that.
Good stuff, Hammer. We
Good
appreciate
tease.
it. Apparently, I think I'm on vacation now, but
Yeah.
enjoy. No, I am not. Enjoy it.
Oh.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks, Hammer. Great stuff
Thanks.
down there.
Bye, Hammer.
Yeah,
All right,
there's-
Hammer joining us in Lakeland. We got to take a break. Come right back. Hey, join us. Zoom room right there. Want to hear your thoughts on the Tigers? Just hit it. Tommy will throw you on the show. We'd love to see it. We'd love to hear from you. Your Zoom calls when we come back on the Sports Office. All right, back on the Sports Office. Great to have you with us tonight. Don't forget, hit that Zoom room. We'd love to see you here on the show tonight. We're going to get to some Zoom calls coming up in just a second. We do have another story, guys, that is heating up, and we knew it was coming. The Piston suspensions came down today from their fight with Charlotte the other night. As expected, Isaiah Stewart got the most significant, 7 games, and 2 games for Duran, who got the least out of all 4 players that were involved. Moussa Diabate, Miles Bridges both got 4 for Charlotte. A couple things. One, Stewart got more because he's a repeat offender. and he came off the bench. Neither of those are good things. You don't want either of those on your resume. You don't want to be a repeat offender. You don't want to be a guy that comes off the bench in a fight. Also, I kind of felt like Bridges deserved more because this thing was over and done, and they had everybody separated, and he decides to come across the court and take a swing at Duran.
Well, it surprised me because Bridges has a history of being a calm guy, never getting in any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah. No, all you need to do is do a Twitter search of his name, and you'll see all of his things from his past have come back to kind of roost in this, and they're not good at all. But again, in this isolated situation, when they have everybody separated, and you weren't even one of the two guys that started this, you weren't even one of the original two combatants, and you come in there and just take a swing at somebody, and then Stewart comes off the bench, and I'm not making excuses for Stewart. You can't do that. That was a mistake by him. But to me, Bridges was a guy that escalated the whole situation.
Well, I agreed with Bickerstaff Monday night mostly because it was kind of like Charlotte was antagonizing them. And they were like, come on and hit us. But the problem is you just can't succumb to that.
No.
And that's where the Isaiah Stewart thing is. Personally, I'd be happy with 7 games. I thought he was going to get like 10 or more.
I did too.
Because
I'm with you. I thought that was fortuitous for the Pistons that it's only 7.
And it's like, okay, Pistons are great. But this may be a problem that may kind of be bad in the playoffs when I can kind of get Isaiah Stewart to tick. I also don't think what helped him is when he was walking out and cameras caught him being like, well, why'd you draft me to Detroit? It's like, I bet you someone saw that.
Well, I was going to bring that up exactly right now because that video from a Charlotte TV station showed him with just absolutely no remorse or anything like that, just saying, yeah, I'm going to run out there. Why do you think they drafted me type of stuff? That would worry me because of the fact that he could get baited.
Let's just project a series against the Knicks. You think the Knicks aren't going to get under his skin? Yeah. He's got to control it because he's a really important member of this team. We saw how important last year when they did not beat the Knicks in the playoffs. And we all felt like if Stewart had played, they would have beaten him if he'd have been available for all the games. They need to get this under control. They'll take on Toronto tonight. We'll see how they do without these guys. We're going to take a break, come right back. We'll close out the show after this. Again, love to see you in the Zoom room. That's the charm of this show, is your ability to join in and us seeing your beautiful face right there, giving us your take on the latest in sports. Be right back. So I just got this text, okay?
Is it from Jen?
It's from Wojo.
Oh, Woj.
He says, so I landed in Tampa, got my luggage, took tram to rental parking. It is stuck halfway between. Just stopped. All screens went blank. Been 15 minutes so far. So how long until all the major news networks go live with the little bottom third saying, Wojo stuck on tram?
7:30. They probably break the pulse.
Was a Spartan
break in
fan?
live?
You break in live.
I think across the country you break. This is Wojo we're talking about.
I mean, we're talking Guthrie news and then Wojo.
yeah.
I mean,
it'll
Wojo
be second.
beats
It'll be
everything.
second on the rundown.
But it was a Michigan State grad in charge of the tram. Is that what happened?
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. They're not happy with him.
Not
right
happy
now.
with him.
Speaking of Michigan State, number 10 in the country, Michigan
Yes.
number 2 in the country.
Yes.
If you're in the top 10, beware. Since the rankings came out on Monday, 7 teams in the top 10 have played. 5 of them have lost. So Michigan playing Northwestern tonight, cautionary tale, be ready. Because we know if they beat Northwestern and they beat UCLA this weekend, that they should in fact be the number 1 team in the country. Now it's February. It's a nice little thing to have on your resume, but doesn't count for the big prize they're looking for.
Is that you saying upset alert tonight?
No, I'm just saying I think they'll beat Northwestern. I think
They're 15.5-point favorites. Northwestern can be sneaky, but not against this
there's
Michigan
not
team.
one team in the country that I'm picking over Michigan.
I'm right
Not
there with
one.
you. But
I
every
mean,
time you start
that
to
doesn't
feel-
mean they're going to win it all.
Right.
But there's not one I would pick over Michigan to win.
Well, there's kind of a curse right now. Every time you start feeling great about a team, they lose a bunch. Purdue lost 3. Nebraska lost 3. Illinois has lost 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Well, that's kind of opened up a nice little cushion in the Big Ten too.
Right. I agree.
So Michigan obviously feeling good about that. So this was fun. We got to talk some baseball.
Yeah.
We'll do it again tomorrow night. As Hammer said, we're going to hear from Scuba. We'll hear from Verlander. We're going to hear from a lot of the guys down in Lakeland where the Tigers are getting ready to go. So come back tomorrow night. Love to see you right here on the Sports Office. That's going to do it for this edition. Don't forget, join us on Fox 2 News at 10 and The Edge at 11.